Hello, this is the Atheist Pilot, and I am fucking tired of the complete misconceptions about Islam, along with every other barbaric religion that exists today. I know there are others, however, Islam is by far the biggest threat to Western society as a whole and the European Enlightenment ideals that we so desperately cling to. Islam does not promote secularism. It does not promote equal rights for everyone. It is anti Semitic, anti women's rights, and oppressive to even the adherents to it. The only people who it benefits are those in the higher ups and those in the clergy. This system cannot survive any longer. It's only because of morons who give it a pass. I have classmates, I have teachers repeating the same line. Oh, they're the minority. That's not true Islam. Islam isn't truly about killing people. It doesn't mean you have to kill non-believers. There's no verse that says if you practice a false holiday, then you are apostate and should be killed. These are just the outliers. That's the biggest load of shit I ever heard in my life. I cannot understand why people like to live in such a naive bubble. That they are literally walking into their own doom if they not see what's coming. If you go to these countries and the tourist areas, yeah, you won't see it. The thing is, live there for a year. See what happens. Talk to ex-Muslims. It's the same oppressive shit that the Christians did 800 years ago. But the thing is, though, the Christians stopped because they were forced to. The Muslims haven't. The one thing that was pulling them forward, the quote-unquote caliphate that was under the Ottoman Empire, that's gone. So as a result, you have them regressing to the same thing as the frickin' prophet, a bastard who married a 9-year-old girl then fucked her by 11. He's a pedophile, and this is your deity? Or at least the prophet of your deity or whatever? How moronic is that? Or people say, oh, well, the Quran's not to be taken literally, or it's not to be misinterpreted, or... Nah. Okay, you know what? No. We're saying, oh, it's misinterpretation, or, oh, they're just lessons. I'm sorry, but that's just not true in the slightest. These fucking morons have no idea what they're talking about. And I know most of them mean well. And most of them just been spoon-fed the same lie we've been taught in schools. But the reality is that there are verses in the Quran that say it is not up for interpretation. This is the exact word of Allah. Directly. In the Bible it says exactly the same thing, but people seem to ignore that too. The bottom line is, it's very easy for terrorists and people in Saudi Arabia, Iran, Qatar, parts of the UAE to beat their wives, kill atheists, kill apostates, stone people for adultery. The Taliban, ISIS, they can say they're true Muslims because guess what? They are. They are obeying exactly what they believe their God's telling them. And it's we who are given the pass. If you do not constantly attack an ideology, then the ideology builds. Because people just hear exactly the same echo chamber. I know most people mean well, but for fuck's sake, feminism and Islam are incompatible. Mind you, they're both cancerous movements, but one says to stone women. It tells you how to beat your wife. There are actual verses of says don't beat her face because keep her pretty. There is no rape of a wife in Islam. It's perfectly fine to do so because as far as they're concerned, she's your property. This is not democratic. This is not Western. This is not enlightenment. This is barbaric. And I'm not saying all people who live in these countries are barbaric at all. No. I'm saying the people who follow their faith like they claim to are, and those who follow blindly like some of the people I know and count as friends, have no idea what their faith actually entails. The amount of Western Muslims who have read the Quran cover to cover is remarkably small. Then again, the amount of Christians who read their Bibles is even smaller. As a great man once said, The Bible and the Quran are the greatest creators of atheists. And it's so true. So to anyone who says, oh, well, it's just a lesson, or these are extremists, or they're not the majority, I'm going to say a big, solid, fuck you. You're an idiot. Read the books. I have read the Quran. I have read the Bible, cover to cover, and I hope to start reading the Hadiths. However, if you're too lazy to do that, look at the Skeptics Annotated Quran, Skeptics Annotated Bible, Skeptics Annotated Book of Mormon. They take all the work out. However, I do advise you read them directly, because these texts are not mistranslated, as some might say. They are horribly written documents that are incoherent, not necessarily contradictory, because the Bible has hundreds of contradictions, with the exact number being 536 or 535, while the Quran has 35 to 36. So no, the Quran does not contradict itself that much, and the contradictions are about, can you treat your wives equally? That's the only mention of women as a contradiction in the Quran. The rest about doomsday and really dumb shit that doesn't really matter pertain to human rights. I believe in a secular society. I believe in a society where everyone is treated equally based on the content of their character. And I'm sorry, but if someone says to me, well, I'm a Muslim and I adhere to the codes of the Quran, then you want to kill me. Because it says, kill non-Muslims, especially atheists. And mind you, I know atheists are not explicitly mentioned in the Quran because the Quran doesn't even consider the idea of not believing a God conceivable. However, in every Islamic country, being an atheist is a crime. So, yeah, you want me dead. Great. I'm sorry, that's a pretty flawed character trait. Or having hatred of Jews. That's a pretty flawed character trait. Quite frankly, I believe all religions have issues. And just because other religions have issues doesn't mean they should get passed. No, it shouldn't. However, the thing is, though, Christianity is not doing the same shit as anymore. Or if it is, it's doing it in very small communities. In Africa. And parts of northern Ontario, northern BC. Like Bountiful, BC, where they have the polygamists. But they're not doing the actual things they're supposed to do because those are crimes. And if they do them, they will be locked up. As they should be. The Middle East is fucked up, not because the West is bombing it that much, but more as a fact of they have an ideology that promotes violence against not just people of their own sect, who have a slightly different interpretation than them, but also anyone who isn't them. There are people in the Middle East who openly do goose-stepping. They say Heil Hitler. They declare that killing Jews is right. These are true anti-Semites who read Mein Kampf, which is a book that is just so horribly written I cannot comprehend that anyone could even read the book. Literally, the book is the most horribly written piece of shit ever devised. Most religious texts have better writing to them, and that's saying something. So there are actual anti-Semites. Those are legitimate fascists who are doing goose-stepping, Heil Hitler salutes, and everything else. But they get a pass. We need to openly criticize these people. We can't allow bad ideas to go uncriticized. If we do, then we let those who have a larger voice than us win. Because when good people do nothing, bad people win. Remember, it's not the silent majority who wins. It's the loud minority. Because guess what? Politicians don't give a shit about people who don't say anything. People who know this need to stand up and say it. And personally, I've been a victim of this. Or should I say, I'm guilty of this. I will hear conversation about people and say, oh yeah, isn't that bad? And I won't say anything, but that's because I'm terrified of being called a racist. And in a nation like Canada, where you can be charged with hate speech for saying the truth about certain religions, no wonder I'm afraid. However, I personally cannot take hearing about this bullshit any longer. I cannot take hearing, oh, we have a rape culture, when there are actual cultures that are okay with rape. I hate hearing, oh, everyone's sexist, everyone's racist, everyone's misogynistic, blah, blah, blah. When we're not. I believe in the meritocracy of where you're based, to quote Martin Luther King, not on the color of your skin, but the content of your character. And we're going backwards. We're basing it on the frickin' religion you take because somehow they're a protected class, as opposed to realizing that religion is part of your character. And what you claim to be your principles affects how you live. And about that if someone is a horrible person, it has nothing to do with the fact they're white or black or anything. It's the fact they're a horrible piece of shit. That's what matters. Nothing else. And just so if someone happens to be slightly racist, fine. But you know what? Racism is never going to go away fully. And this new wave of progressives are the most racist fucks I've ever seen. The irony is these people fight quote-unquote racist patriarchies while putting everyone in different boxes. They put people into racial boxes with oppression complexes. They have such a horrible, retarded dogma that if you were hearing different contexts, you might think it was the bloody Nuremberg laws of Hitler. And I know I'm breaking one of the logical fallacies of saying, oh, I'm bringing Hitler into this in an argument. But you know what? Having people say, oh, you're black, so you have this amount of privilege, or you're white because you have this amount of privilege. Doesn't that sound like a scale of how human you are? It's like, oh, well, it's like saying to someone, oh, you're less human because you're this. No! People need to stop this bullshit. You do not destroy racism by putting everyone in different boxes. You treat them equally based on their character. Because we're going backwards in time. We ain't going forwards. And quite frankly, I'm tired of people who are well-intentioned winning. Because, as the good saying goes, the road to hell was paved in good intentions. Thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like my content. There'll be more coming soon. I am the Atheist Pilot.